Hello everyone, that's tuning into today's burst video. We're going to have a look at the weather for this 10 to 14 days for today's burst video. So day 10 will take us to the 11th of December. And we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles. They are running to around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. Gets us beyond Christmas now. And I should get on with that for you in a moment. Just to say, the Dose Extend podcast should be back tomorrow. I think I might do a live this evening. Anybody fancy a little bit of a gap live? Around 6:30ish. Just go through the 12s then. Nothing really special or important, but just a little live stream for us all to check in and have a bit of a chat for half an hour or so. So that'll probably be coming up about 6:30 this evening, and we'll be able to get all the 12s there, bottom runs. Straight after that, we will release Terry Scolder's December and Winter 2025-26 broadcast on the GavsWeatherVids Facebook page. No, that'll be coming up for you, as I say, at 7 p.m. this evening. If you're worried about Christmas Countdown, I'm going to try and do one of those tomorrow for you. Release that tomorrow evening. Just a question of getting everything in. Of course, the GavsWeatherVids Winter forecast will be premiered at 7 p.m. on Wednesday. So, busy few days coming up. Going to be on an iron lung by Christmas, I think. But anyway, please like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. Right, well, we're going to start off with the latest wind flow map from earthnullschool.net, showing that low pressure is dominating weather out in the Atlantic and is in control. Moving in from the west. There's also a weather system through here. Must be bringing quite a bit of rain and wind to southern counties, and will continue to do so through the rest of today. Low pressure well and truly in control and will remain so, at least for the first week, 10 days of December. Central temperature confirmed at 8.3 for November. That is nearly 2 degrees above 61 to 1990 average. So you can see what's happened through this year so far. January was cold, colder than average by nearly half a degree at 3.4. And of course, colder than that if you was to compare it to the more recent average, 81 to 2020. But since then, it's been a run of above average months. February, 1.5 degrees above average. March, over 2 degrees above average. April, really warm, 3 degrees above average. May, 2 degrees above average. June, nearly 3 degrees above average. July, 2.5 degrees above average. Hot summer, hot July, 18.4, 18 Celsius, July. August, 2 degrees above average. So running around 2 to 3 degrees above average with the deviation generally from February to August. But then we saw a bit of a cool down and reverting much closer to average in September and October, just half degree and 0.7 degree. Looks like we've gone back to that sort of roughly 2 degree temperature deviation. Could be temporary and might be a one-off in November. We'll have to wait and see how December unfolds, but this has certainly been yet another very warm year. Well, these were GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. We've got rugby today. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for rugby. We're starting off above average, or with the upper air temperatures at the moment. We're going to find them reverting much closer to average, though, as we go through the next couple of weeks. So, not a big deviation, probably quite a bit of a zonal sine wave going on there. It looks like we're coming out about average, but at this time of year, this kind of pattern will tend to actually still leave us above average with the temperature overall. The reason is that it's an unsettled pattern. We're not getting the cold nights and frosty nights coming through generally in this pattern. So although temperatures are going to come down from a very mild field today, overall it's still, I think, going to be coming out a bit milder than average, at least for the first week, 10 days of December. But more significantly, I think, than temperature is precipitation. So you see precipitation spikes from beginning to end, large rainfall spikes there, telling us that we are in for a bit of a deluge. As been saying in videos lately, it's an unsettled sort of first half to December, most definitely. And low pressure will be remaining in control. Okay, temperature anomalies for the next 5 days to the 6th of December. A little bit above average for England and Wales, slightly below average for Scotland and Ireland. The 10 to 14 day temperature anomaly also coming out a little bit above average. That backs up what I was saying. So, although the ensemble graph there for 850 HP, you would look at that and think generally we're going to be about average. In reality, at this time of year, that kind of pattern will lead to temperatures on the surface being above average because it's unsettled. We don't get the cold, frosty nights, and that's the reason why. Precipitation anomalies next 7 days, so the 8th of December, most places coming out wetter than average, 8 to 14 day, showing average to slightly above average rainfall as well. Right, let's start going through chart data there. Miss our latest UK Met Euro run. Looking big night on Thursday, low pressure heading in from off the Atlantic, looking unsettled. And low pressure keeps on coming into the weekend. That could be a real deluge of us out there, Friday into Saturday. And on comes the low pressure, or in comes the low pressures, even to the start of next week. No sign of a break in that unsettled pattern, at least to the beginning of next week. That gets us to the 8th of December. ICOM, again, bring low pressure in from off Atlantic, quite a deep low there, Friday into Saturday, looks very unsettled, and those areas of low carry on coming all the way up to next Monday. And it stays mild as well, of course, winds continue to be from that west-southwesterly direction. The deluge goes on then, and the KMA, once more, low pressure is driving in from off the Atlantic, bringing bouts of wind and rain. That looks quite stormy there. That's 8th to the 9th of December. So could that be a rainstorm? I reckon we'll probably get a rainstorm at some point in the first half of December, but we'll have to wait and see. That also looking stormy and quite cold as well. That could bring some snow showers up to the north anyway. That low gets out of the way, trying to build up a transient ridge, but the next low is heading in there by the 13th of December. Yet again, we're back into those west-southwesterly winds. Okay, well, let's move on to the GFS midnight run. Again, low pressure continuing to dominate the scene throughout the end of the week into the weekend. To the start of next week, the GFS midnight run also begins to build up some higher pressure from the south, though begins to go a bit drier down the south, very mild as well. Long fetch southwesterly bring up the air from the Azores and the Canary Islands. Then it turns a bit colder, so this area of low pressure punches through, switches the wind around to a northerly, or more of a northerly, though becoming drier and colder there as we move up to the middle part of December. Bit of a hint of a wind trying to get into the northeast, with some cold air plunging through northern and western Europe. So colder, the GFS midnight run through the middle part of December. That is a mid-December cold snap, mostly dry and frosty, not much snow with that. Most snow is with this trough across the northern and northeastern parts of Europe, just there. So, not much snow, but certainly a lot colder with some harsh overnight frost and, maybe a few wintry showers around those eastern coast. But quite a significant pattern change there for middle of December with a GFS midnight run. The 6 there by comparison, well, keeps the low pressures coming right way through the weekend into next week. Those low pressures carry on driving through. Day 10 looks like that, some higher pressure to the south, but overall still in an unsettled pattern. Not much change, it's extended really. The low pressures just carry on punching through up to middle part of December and even set up. No sign of a drier, colder weather and blocking the air of high pressure with a 6 there. So you're patient whether you take the choice. Do you believe the midnight run turning drier and colder mid-December, or do you believe the 6 there keeping the Atlantic deluge going, but also keeping us very mild? I wonder. Well, if you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. Drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids and get them to subscribe too. And thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. Right, GM, again, low pressure heading in from off the Atlantic Thursday through to Friday. That will be bringing further bouts of rain with it as well. And the areas of low pressure carry on all the way up to day 10. That gets us to Thursday, the 11th of December. Low pressure to the north of Scotland, looking unsettled, showery west-northwesterly winds, and mist low looks quite interesting down here along the jet stream, somewhere to the east of the Azores. Could that move in and give us a spell of very stormy weather? Maybe, but it's beyond day 10. And then the ECM rounds it all off. Again, low pressure is in control and in the ascendancy all the way through into next week. No sign of a break, no sign of an end up to day 10. We keep it unsettled. Beyond that, well, we tried to start building up some higher pressure to the east and to the northeast. That's having a go at turning us drier and colder. And in a very extended range, there's a bit of a hint of a Scandinavian high, actually, at that point. So we're trying to build up some high pressure across the northeast of Europe, but low pressure remains out of the Atlantic. A bit of a battle going on, really, between the high pressure to the east and the low pressure out to the west. This is my precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Tibet.com. So further showers and or longer spells of rain may carry on coming all the way through the first week of December. Bouts of rain coming and going, but never really settling into a more settled pattern. Just continue unsettled there up to the 11th of December. Not much more to say, really. Okay, well, these are the upside table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10. Gets us to the 11th of December. 20 members of the ECM ensembles with higher pressure to the east and north. Lower pressure is out to the west. That brings up wind from a southerly direction. Oh, generally mild and unsettled. 18 with low pressure again in from the Atlantic, looking unsettled, blocking area of high pressure up towards Greenland. And we got 13 again, some high pressure towards Greenland, low pressure to our southwest. All options look unsettled, really, at day 10. And then in 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. It will get us to the 16th of December. 17 members of the ECM ensembles keep the low pressure coming, remaining very unsettled. 16 again with high pressure to the east, low pressure is out to the west. That could be a little bit more settled, should be mild as well. 10 with low pressure away to the west, high pressure down to the south, and 8 with high pressure somewhere towards Greenland, Iceland, low pressure in from the Atlantic. Day 10, all options I think are looking unsettled to very unsettled there. Day 14 might be a bit of a hint of some higher pressure. The 8th here, I suppose, would be trying to turn things a bit cold as well, with winds in from the east. But I don't know. I think this unsettlement is probably going to be with us up to the middle part of December. Although we did see that GFS midnight run turning things drier and colder. To me, I don't know. I think most of these, most of the model output today suggests we remain mild and settled at least to mid-December. But we'll see. Right, okay, well, CFS V2 finally. 500 millibar high tides break down into week periods. The first week period takes from the first week, 7th of December. Next week, unsettled low pressure dominating the weather. Week 2 is going to be the 8th through to 14th of December. Low pressure is to the north, high pressure is to the south, and winds remain from a westerly direction. The unsettled weather goes on. Week 3 is going to be the 15th to 21st of December. Again, low pressure comes in from the Atlantic, continuing to be unsettled. And then week 4 is the 22nd, 28th of December. And low pressure carries on coming with unsettled weather continuing. When will we get a break to that? I don't know. That gets us to Christmas. And at that point, and even beyond Christmas, 28th of December. And even at that point, low pressure continues to dominate weather. It's unsettled and it's also mild or very mild. Winds coming up from the southwest there. I wonder, we'll see. Okay, well, we're done. If you've enjoyed the video, please give us a like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Thank you so much for doing that. So, as I think we might do a little live stream. Let's see. I fancy, just do a little live. It won't be anything that important. Just half an hour or so, from about 6:30 to 7. Have a quick chat. You give few people a bit of a shout out, and then go through the 12Z model runs, and then straight after that we'll release Terry Scully's forecast for December and also for the winter of 25-26. And that'll be on the GavsWeatherVids Facebook page. If you aren't subscribed to our Facebook page, make sure you give us a follow. What do you do on Facebook? Is it give it a follow? Give it a like? I don't know. But anyway, make sure you're following the GavsWeatherVids Facebook page. You find the link in the description with this video. And as I say, Terry will reveal all a little bit later on. GavsWeatherVids winter forecast is premiered at 7 p.m. on Wednesday. And tomorrow, as I say, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, we'll be able to do you the latest instalment of Christmas Countdown. Well, I'll see you a little bit later on, maybe, for our impromptu Monday evening live stream. But for this one, so for now, and thanks for watching.